Welcome to the Hallmark After Show 2020 podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of your hosts, Will Carey, and joining me is my co-host and wife, most importantly, my wife, Chelsea Connor. Hello, dear.
Hi, how's everybody?
I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, everybody. We're coming to you the week after Thanksgiving, and what a tornado of activity, really.
Really, I mean, every single night Hallmark had a new premiere of Thanksgiving week, just really trying to bring us all the joy possible.
Yeah, every single night we had a new premiere, and it was bananas. We're still processing through everything that we saw.
We've
and
seen
we're gonna
so many Hallmark movies.
Yes, so many, and yet I feel like we've also seen the same one a couple times, which is also funny to me.
Yeah, totally.
But specifically, we're here to talk about a film that resonated a lot with me. This is like I think our 9th premiere of the season.
Yeah.
We're talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about a Nashville Christmas Carol, which has kind of a star-studded cast. First off, it
kind of being the operative word.
I'll even go so far as to say a star-studded cast, because we are dealing with the world of country music. So we have some big-time country stars such as Winona Judd and Kix Brooks from who is one half of the of a fairly popular country music duo, Brooks and Dunn. But
these
just
names don't mean anything to me.
But if you like country music, they mean a lot to you.
Any listeners out there liking country music? Y'all in for this?
Y'all ready for this?
Giddy up.
To summarize our film, we have a workaholic television producer. She receives a visit from her recently deceased mentor, who warns her that her current path leads to a dark future. So our main character, played by Jessie Scram, her name is Vivian. She plays the aforementioned workaholic TV producer. You might recognize her as Bonnie from Mad Men. Did you relate to this character, Chelsea?
As like a human, yes, but I have to say, I know this is your favorite of the Christmas fables, but it is my least favorite of the Christmas fables. I definitely struggled.
Is it a fable?
I don't know. It's a story with a lesson.
Yes, because if you didn't quite grab it from the title, we are dealing with a reinterpretation of the classic Charles Dickens story, A Christmas Carol, which is my favorite Christmas story of all time. But it's one that you do not like.
I don't like it because Tiny Tim just makes me sad.
But he doesn't die.
There is no Tiny Tim in this version.
There is no Tiny Tim. There's also no...
So I was okay with it. But Tiny Tim, his please, sir, it's just so sad.
That's
sad.
That's from Oliver. Please, sir.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he says please, sir, in Christmas Carol too.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But what I want to know is, are you actually afraid and depressed by Dickensian orphans, by sad Dickensian children? Because Tiny Tim's not an orphan.
I mean, sure. Like sad children should make a human sad, right? Like, for example, today on New York One, for those of you not in New York, it's our super local news station.
Mm-hmm.
Today was also Giving Tuesday, and so they visited a charity that gives pajamas and books to children this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
They're discussing how they're doing that in COVID. And the woman who runs the organization was like, you know, it's so hard to get children to go to sleep generally, but imagine if like that child is in a halfway house or in a homeless shelter. It just made me want to cry. And so when I see Tiny Tim in this Christmas movie, which he wasn't in this one, but as a general rule, it just makes me sad. Like, kids should be happy at Christmas time.
Right. You don't like sad children at Christmas, especially because I saw a tweet that was just like screenshots of kids writing to Santa for like practical things, because we live in like a cruel capitalist society.
Also in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, in the middle of a pandemic where all the kids are like, I just want COVID to be over. I just want a vaccine. But to get back to my original question, as a blonde woman, workaholic, did you relate to this character?
Yes, with one exception though. Clearly this woman's like whole world revolves around putting on a local Christmas special in Nashville. And
Yes.
like I like to think of myself as crazy and a workaholic, but at least the work I do like matters and impacts people's lives. So like I don't know that I could pull my hair out for a Christmas special. Like, if I'm being honest.
Like a country music Christmas special, you would just be like, okay, you're gonna sing at this time, you're gonna sing next, and if we don't have a dog, it's fine.
Yeah,
I do understand that because you feel like the weight.
To be clear,
of
it's
your
like
work.
it's like country or not. It's just like a Christmas show. I don't know if I could like do it.
Right. You would just be like, you know what? No one's gonna die if this doesn't happen. Okay,
Right.
I can see it. I can see it.
Right.
I like this because this is hitting a lot of buttons for me, this particular story, because we've got the worlds of music. We've got ambitious people who leave their hometowns to go and do ambitious things, and then we have the friends we leave behind, and then and unresolved questions. It's a lot for creative someone like me who left their hometown to pursue creative things.
Yeah, except I thought Nashville was her hometown.
Yes, I'm talking about her friend, who is the agent
Oh,
of
yeah,
of
the
a
love interest.
yes, who is the agent of a well-known country singer, Gavin, played by a gentleman named Wes Brown, who has been in a couple of inspirational sports movies. He was in Glory Road and the movie We Are Marshall. So
So this is his downfall. That's what I heard.
I mean, it's all about keeping working, you know.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of these Hallmark actors is like you remember them from when and you're like, "Oh, you need work to feed yourself."
Well, I also know, and this is the bizarre, because I know Winona Judd's a country music legend, but I don't really know her music that well. But I know Brooks, Kick Brooks, who plays the ghost of Christmas Past in this movie. I know him because Brooks and Dunn's song "Only in America" was on Obama's playlist for his new book, and it also played at the end of his speech at the 2008 DNC.
Notice, folks, that Will is really trying to be respectful of all the country music singers. I think maybe secretly he like likes CMTV or something like that and like watches it, and like I can see this twinkle in his eye when he talks about these country music singers where he's just like, I love them. I will be loyal to them on my podcast.
I mean, I don't like I don't like talking shit because all of those country guys can really play and they can all write super catchy songs. There's obviously a reason that they do what they do. But to kind of get into the story a little bit, so we've got a Hallmark take on A Christmas Carol. So we don't have Ghost of Christmas Future, but we set up our character. We see her past through Brooks of Brooks and Dunn, where when she walks through a door that you think is like a storage space, but it's a door into the past. Whoa. And you quickly see that she and her friend, they both clearly had similar ambitions and then ended up taking different paths.
Right. I mean, how rare is it for you and your best friend in your hometown to have the same life goals?
I feel like lots of people start out that way, but then there's always the people that go on and pursue it, and then there's the people that are left behind, and there's in my experience there's some sad stories there. So but this
is
that's
all on the
been my
premise.
experience.
So just to back it up a little bit, not that you guys don't know the story of A Christmas Carol, but this is all on the premise that she's been sort of being eyed for a larger TV production role out in LA.
Ooh.
I know, very exciting. And so like the network execs are in town, so everything's got to go perfectly.
And she is just
she's got to
she's cracking the whip.
Yeah, and she's got to work with her, childhood best friend / former love interest to like make it happen. And she's having to like compromise that relationship a little bit to put on the best Nashville Christmas show ever.
Exactly, because if this show doesn't happen, people will be sad. And you go into her backstory, like her mom
Disappears.
disappeared. We don't know if she dies or if she just leaves. And then dad had some issues, so she had to grow up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of you know people who had like turmoil early on in their lives, so they kind of had to become adults when they were still kids, which I hate when that
Which I'll also give
happens.
like Hallmark credit for. Usually it's like dad leaves and mom just like can't get her shit together. It
Right.
was nice to see a dad that couldn't get his shit together, but like also wasn't a deadbeat dad either. Like he
Right.
just
He wasn't like hitting
he
her.
no, or like an alcoholic or anything like that. He just, like financially couldn't swing it.
Yeah, it became a burden, and then so Christmas Past starts taking her through this time, and then we also see what caused the divergence between her childhood best friend slash unrequited love interest. In he gets this opportunity to go to L.A.
Mhm.
and he says that they had made all these promises like, I'm gonna help you, you can direct my artist's music video, but then the big shot hot shot label guys are like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And then the business part of show business and the betrayals and the compromises that you make because you want to further your career, that which I feel like, the choice between furthering your career
Mhm.
and being loyal to those you started with comes up a lot in these movies.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about like, are you gonna do the right thing? You know?
Right. The right
Like
fit.
it happens in every single movie. It's just like it's a choice of like picking home, and by home I mean like your friends and family and maybe your literal home in some cases,
Yeah,
or like achieving your dreams. And I don't think you have to compromise. I think you can have both, right? Like
I think so.
I was born and raised in New York City and I never left because it's the best city in the world.
It is.
And so I just, went on many, many dates until I found the right guy who was like, sure, I'll stay in New York City, which hard to believe, ladies, but like really was a tough sell for a lot of guys. Like they all want that suburban life with the picket fence.
And interestingly enough, I would always go on dates with looking for someone who's like not wanting to leave New York City, because I don't want to leave New York City.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we found each other, dear.
Yeah. And we have our white picket fence in our own little way. We put up little holiday lights and bring suburban cheer right here to this corner of the city.
Exactly. And then the thing is with the suburban white picket fence dream is like, I don't desire space. Maybe it's because when I was growing up, I grew up in I grew up in a hoarder house, and my room was basically my own apartment, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Yeah. Will likes things piled on top of him and to being constantly in chaos. And I'm like constantly throwing stuff away around him. And it's like the magical regenerating trash can.
Well, the other thing is, like, the other thing is I'll like randomly think of something and won't be able to find it, because to me, like, if it's out, I know where it is.
No, put things away, people.
So we deal with
Back to our
Christmas.
movie.
We deal with we deal with Christmas Past, and then we get to Christmas Present, who I believe is played not by Winona Judd, but Winona Judd is Vivian's mentor. She's the producer she was the first producer of the Nashville Christmas show, who gives her first job in TV production.
Right, right.
But we talked to Christmas Present, and we kind of see some of the other areas of her life that are starting to kind of fall by the wayside. I
Right,
think.
like her sister's been like secretly dating the prop guy from the Christmas show, and like she didn't know that, and so
Right.
that was exciting.
Yeah. I also feel
Um,
like there's a dark side because it's an interracial relationship, and I got nervous about that. Like, oh, interracial relationships in Tennessee. But it works out fine.
Why would you call it a dark side?
I was saying like there's a alternate where things are like there's more turmoil about her sister's love life
Oh,
than
I guess so.
is
I
shown in
didn't
the
see
movie.
it that way.
I didn't mean it literally.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I didn't see it that way because I have a lot of interracial couple friends, but so I think like I guess I related to her on was like the stress and pressure of trying to keep like everything going, at a time of year when, you're supposed to sort of be pausing for joy. And I think in a way
Right.
she like took this job on because, Christmas became not as much fun for her over her childhood.
Yeah.
And so that's what we sort of like learn about her.
Came less important.
Yeah. And, ultimately the big TV execs make her compromise and make her remove the singer that is represented by her friend Gavin from the opening number, which apparently is really important. So she
Yeah,
comes up with
whoever.
this brilliant idea to make it a duet, which does amazingly. And of course, she gets offered the job in LA, but she says, well, I want to live in Nashville. Well, she doesn't have an accent, but
Yeah. Well, you make everybody like who's from south of New York, you portray with that voice.
no, that's like a Nashville accent. I've been to Nashville. You ain't been to Nashville.
I have not been. I have not been to Nashville, but I do know that
But
you left coast liberal elitist New Yorkers love to caricature everybody else that isn't from New York or Los Angeles.
no, I mean people from Nashville have that accent, but like I could do an Alabama accent.
Well then,
Alabama.
well then we would need to get some subtitles for this podcast.
But anyway, so of course,
So she solves problems.
She solves the
She
problems.
makes
She
them
magically makes it so that she can do the job in LA from Nashville. Go
Right.
figure. Her love interest is interested in her because she saved the day and made sure that his older country music star was still in the opening act. And
Yeah, because that was the sticking point is the big shot like corporate people. They wanted like the young, fresh faced, up and coming star to kick off the number,
right.
compared to her friend's client, who's at this point she's not old, but she's older than she's older than like the new country star, who's this like perky blonde woman named Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. Southern women are like named after the places they're from. I found it's like Savannah.
Yeah, there's
Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. I'm sure there's an up and coming country star named Tampa somewhere.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, is there like an Athens, Georgia?
There is an Athens,
like,
Georgia.
No, I know, but is there like some poor girl walking around who's named Athens?
It's like, my name's Athens.
I'm from Georgia.
Trying to think of other cities that would be good names in Georgia, like Dubuque.
I love Georgia. Georgia's a great state, and hopefully they'll elect some Democrat senators.
Oh my God! I can only hope so, because now it was just announced that Barr has appointed a special counsel into the source of the Russia probe.
Wrong podcast, Will. This took a hard
isn't
turn to politics.
This isn't Pod
No,
Save America.
it's not. It's also not a political podcast. It's the podcast where we bring joy to America.
Joy to America. Well,
this is the
I
podcast
think,
of joy.
Well, if you check the transcript, dear, you will see that you mentioned politics.
It's my.
first.
I know it's definitely my fault, but like you like took a hard left. But anyway, how would you rate this movie? I realize we didn't discuss the plot that much, but it's a Christmas Carol. Everyone knows the plot.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and as I'm sure you imagine, everybody is professionally and personally satisfied by the end of the movie.
Shocker.
We're in the world of country music in Nashville, so I like those parts of it. But this one didn't quite grab me the way other Christmas Carol adaptations or like interpolations have. I would maybe give it close. I would give it maybe a 2, because I didn't hate it, but it didn't really like grab me like some of the other films this year have. How about you? Because I can't imagine this ranks high for you.
No,
because it's country music and it's a Christmas Carol.
Right, and I was also preoccupied with work while watching it.
Right.
But I have to say, like, I wouldn't give it as low as a 2 though. I think I'm closer in the 2.5 range, only because like I could see what they were trying to do. They've clearly choreographed these weekend premieres where it's like one is a star-studded cast and one is going to like melt your heart and soul. and they did that again this weekend.
Right.
You know, next up, folks, is the Christmas House, which wow, we'll get into that tomorrow. But it's really quite an adorable movie as well. And so I think they were trying to like juxtapose like stars and people America knows and gets excited about with like a limited plot, and then the next
Mm-hmm.
movie was going to be like a really elaborate, confusing plot. But you're gonna fall in love with it. So I think like the combination, when I think about like it as a weekend of premieres, was lovely. You know, and I'll give them that half point for some star-studded con actors, but like
Yeah.
I don't know them.
I will say everybody can, all the singing, everybody who sings in this can really sing, regardless, even if it's not the actors, if it's studio people, they still got some quality people to do the songs for this one.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, I mean, I guess like, did it captivate me like Jingle Bell Bride or some of the others? No, but it wasn't the worst either. It wasn't like Chateau Christmas. Ugh.
Right, you really don't like Chateau
I
Christmas.
really did not like Chateau Christmas. And I will give it credit for some level of originality. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they did follow a classic storyline here, but I think they also did try to make it different because it was in Nashville. But I
Nashville.
will say, like, I can't boost them to a 3 or any higher because there was no hot chicken.
That's true. There was no
I
hot
feel like if you're
chicken.
gonna be in Nashville,
There
how
should
could
be
you
a scene.
not have like just even just an errand crunch in the background would have satisfied me. You know, like I don't need the actors
Sure.
to be in like a famous, you know, hot chicken place, but like I would
Right.
have liked just some fried chicken.
Right. You just want one person in the back just going like, "That's hot."
I don't even need that. I just need the crunch.
Well, the next movie, I will order some fried chicken from somewhere and I will crunch on it while we watch, and then you can think back to that and go, "Oh yeah, this would have improved Nashville Christmas Carol."
That's great as long as I don't have to rewatch the Nashville Christmas Carol movie.
Well, there you have it, folks.
But-
That's where we have for this week, and we have. I'm gonna
we
say
have so many
we
movies
have
to
a
review.
tornado of movies to
And
review.
some of them we watched with my parents, which was hilarious. They were really good sports about it. They're not going to join us on the podcast just yet. I think we're
Yeah.
saving
Yeah,
my
yeah, not
call-in from Brooklyn for the Hanukkah movie because my mother is Jewish and so am I. But
That'll be fun.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But they really did provide some commentary to these movies that like just
they weren't fans.
really added joy to my life. Like I would get up to use the restroom or something because it's 2 hours. It's a long movie. And I have the bladder of like a peanut. But anyway, so I would get up. My dad would be like,
What?
my dad would be like, you're not missing anything except by the end, this is what's going to happen. That's he'd tell the whole story. And by the time I got back, like we were still only 5 minutes into the movie, you know?
Right.
Like, and he, what was great too, and I will tell this story when we get to some of the movies we watched with them too. But, you know, he surfs. He's a channel surfer, right? He likes to click around at night.
Right.
And so when we told him we were coming for Thanksgiving, but also that we had to watch these movies for this very important podcast for all of our listeners,
Yes.
he had like noticed that there were Christmas shows, as he called them, Christmas stories. He told me every night on Channel 45, except Channel 45. So it's like the first day we're there, it's like screeching towards 8 o'clock, which is when these movies premiere. You can't
Yep.
be late. It's live on TV, right?
It's true.
And so it's like 7:59. I turn to Channel 45, and of course it's not Hallmark. It's like Lifetime, and of course
Right.
they also have like
But
Christmas movies.
But not too far off.
Right. So I had to like Google the Hallmark Channel in Brooklyn, New York on Optimum. But we found it and we got there just in time.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
don't
true.
worry. We didn't miss a beat of it. But I have to say the fact that like my dad just wanted to scout out like where the holiday joy was while he's clicking
Right.
through, like burning down that remote, folks.
Burning it down. Burning it down.
Was just really hilarious. So you'll enjoy some commentary from him as well.
I can't wait to hear that. And then also in an upcoming episode, a Christmas House, co-starring the host of Cake Wars on the Food Network, which I found very amusing.
As Hallmark's first, as they called it, although we know it's the second gay relationship of the year, but it is the first like main, I can't remember how they characterize it, but it's like the first main set of actors in a gay relationship and adopt a baby, and it's like they're just like all in for the fact that they've celebrating a gay relationship. So woke Hallmark Christmas continues, folks.
Indeed it does. And we look forward to sharing that with you. And what did you guys think of A Nashville Christmas Carol? If you saw it, you can reach out to us on all the social medias. I am on Twitter at Comic Will Carry. You can also find me on Instagram at WillCarry23.
And you can find me at Chelsea Connor on all of the social medias because I got in super early.
Yeah, and you can follow the show on all the social media as well. If you check the description, we'll have links there as well.
Follow us, make us feel loved and like you care about the fact that we stay up till midnight to do these podcasts for you to bring you joy.
It is true, and we love to share the joy with you
and share with your friends.
Yes, tell your friends. You guys are our best advocates for helping other people find the show. So thank you guys for being here, and we will see you soon for A Christmas House.
Woo!
Woo.
La 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 la. A doom ba 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 doom. La.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.